Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea. What if every single conversation you have isn't just about trading words, but about trading energy? You know that feeling, right? You've been trying to explain something, share an idea, maybe connect with someone, and you just walk away feeling heavy, frustrated, and totally exhausted. It's a feeling we've all had. But what if it's not just, in your head? What if something very real is happening on an energetic level? Well, it turns out that every conversation basically has two outcomes. When you are truly understood, that energy flows right through. You feel light, you feel clear. But when you're misunderstood, that same energy gets blocked, it gets stuck, and it leaves you feeling heavy and completely drained. Okay, so let's dig into this core idea. This isn't just some nice metaphor. It's a description of a real, almost physical reaction that's happening inside you every single time you talk to someone. Think about it this way. When you speak, you're literally extending your own energy out into the world. Now, if the other person really gets it, they truly absorb what you're saying, that energy transfer is successful, and you feel this sense of relief, of clarity. But if your words just hit a brick wall, that energy has absolutely nowhere to go. It just bounces back and gets trapped inside you as the stagnant, murky feeling. So what happens when that energy gets blocked? Well, it's a lot more than just an awkward moment. It can actually be actively harmful to you. This quote, I know, it's pretty blunt, right? But it's blunt for a very good reason. Trying to force an idea on someone who isn't ready to hear it doesn't just annoy them. It actually ends up hurting you, the speaker. What happens is you create this nasty negative feedback loop. That stagnant energy builds up as frustration, and that negative vibe comes right back at you. It can literally cloud your mind, making it harder to think clearly later on. And if this happens over and over again, that repeated blockage can even start to show up as physical sickness. So if the danger's that real, what's the solution? How do we fix this? Well, it all starts with preparing what we know before we even open our mouths, by understanding that knowledge comes in different layers. The source material calls this the 4-3-3 principle, but let's just think of it as 3 simple layers. The top layer is all the raw info you take in, stuff you read, things you hear. The middle layer is where you start to organize it, to make some sense of it. And that bottom layer, that's the good stuff. That's the distilled wisdom, the part you've truly internalized and made your own. Knowing which layer to speak from changes everything. And this, right here, this is the absolute key. Communication that connects, that flows, that actually energizes people, it doesn't come from reciting surface-level facts you just learned yesterday. It comes from that deep, distilled wisdom. The stuff you don't just know, but that you truly, deeply understand. So you see, it's not just about what you know. It's about how you share it. Your delivery has to come from a place of authenticity. It can't just be a script. This slide really breaks it down. On one side, you have mimicry. That's just repeating someone else's words, parroting back what a teacher or a book said. On the other side, you have true insight. That's when you take that deep wisdom we talked about, run it through your own filter, and offer a personal analysis that actually lands with the person in front of you. I absolutely love this analogy. Think about it. When you go to a big university lecture, you're not there for someone to just read the textbook to you. You could have done that at home. You're there for the professor's analysis, their unique perspective, their distilled wisdom. That's where the real value is. So here's the bottom line. Your job isn't to be a parrot. Your job is to be a translator. It's to take what you deeply understand and adapt it right there in the moment for the specific person you're talking to, their mood, their level of knowledge, their needs. Okay, but how can you tell if you're actually doing this right? How do you know in the middle of a conversation if your energy is really being received? Well, that brings us to our final and maybe most practical tool. Your listener is giving you a constant stream of feedback, even if they aren't saying a single word. We are all walking, talking sensors, and we are built to detect when a connection is real and when it's not. You just have to learn what to look for. So what are these signs? The source gives us a whole checklist of nonverbal cues. A strained look on their face, a subtle change in their skin color, their eyes losing focus, a tightening of the mouth, fidgety hands, or even sudden big movements. These are all alarm bells telling you that their energy is blocked. And the advice here is so simple but so crucial. The second you see these signs, just stop. Don't push harder. Don't try to re-explain. The connection is lost. The absolute best thing you can do for both of you is to pivot. Just change the subject to something lighter, something easier, clear that bad energy, and get the good vibes flowing again. So ultimately, this all leaves us with a choice. It's really easy to just transmit information, to just broadcast our ideas out into the world. But real communication, the kind that actually energizes and inspires, is all about connection. So think about it. In your next conversation, are you going to just transmit or are you going to connect?